So, if some American has a drill going on and he's filming it and he puts it on his media outlet, the people that have different languages, maybe from Saudi Arabia, they don't go question this happening because they see, it happens on the 9th or on the 11th, on the 9th month. Oh, okay, so we know this is no danger to anyone. It's a bit a mess, maybe, productions kind of, are productions. Still are happenings that happen. It's not like inventions, fiction that never has happened. No, it happens, but it's a drill. It has no consequences for anyone. No one died. No one that shot someone will get into prison, like Manson never was in a prison. He always looked different, just like Stephen Hawking. So that's the point Ed Carini makes, that there is crisis actors, and he calls them, it's a actor-based media reality, I call it. Yeah. So because of my video, I had to go outside and film and do and stuff. So my book I did also this morning. I was waiting for the cat and I was feeding all the animals. A squirrel. I know there is an animal that has the eyes close together. So when that one appears at night, I know it's the squirrel. He likes cheese as well. The birds like the corn I put out. The snails like the peel of the carrots and cucumbers I put out. So when they rot, all the snails go there. They like it a lot. Then cat food is also for the big birds that look like crows. They have a very funny sound. They go, ah, ah, something like this. Mink, yeah. When they have discovered the meat, the cat food, and they go flying for it, like when it's on the side of the street and they can easily reach it, they don't have to like fly around my house and then on top of something and then onto the floor. That one would kind of scare them. But in this open field where they can just like fly onto a hill and then get off again easily, overlooking the territory, they go like really having a feast. Like this somehow they go. And they eat it all. They tell each other to go and get it. I know because starting of spring, oh yeah, but I didn't sleep, so we are getting close to full moon. So I'm again in full moon speed. So excuse me, please, for just throwing all the topics in one video. Yeah. Like to get rich and famous on YouTube, I should have a channel dedicated to one topic and really be the only one that deals with it, and then stick with it, and also do it on all the in all the languages, and travel a lot, and like have titles that are like really, I found 9 rings with a metal detector in a river like this, So it's just about that action, getting the metal detector out and search the river for metals, precious metals. These sort of channels that really don't contribute anything to a genius universe, that are sort of so specialist as the elite wants it. Those channels, they thrive. So when you got the channel that is negative on top of that as well, you are even better. Or if it's a child-friendly topic, like you can put these videos on for youngsters, the one with the diving, or when it's for children and it's really children safe, cats and dogs, that's all you are showing. No, on my channel you get the the real life of a cat, which is my tiger that hasn't returned for a week by now. And you get the elite agenda. So whenever something happens on my secondary email that just, somehow it doesn't need explanation, but to some maybe it does. So I go explaining what I see, where I can see through the lies or the theater they put up. Like, the Trump thing. Everyone is bashing Trump, and even on South Park they were really doing it very well, the bashing. But yeah, it's as I told you, it's not just Trump. All the following ones will have some minus, label on them too. Whether it's someone really rich you don't trust, like Trump, or someone behaving funny, they take funny pictures of Trump, pictures they never took from Bush, or Clinton. Clinton was stylized as a womanizer and stuff, and then he fell with that. So everyone in the media also takes its fall, because the elite likes it negative, because this negative thing gets us steps up a very short ladder towards illness. That one I told you a few times. But now we also learned about the inner child, and there it says, if you read news, magazines, all these bad news, or this silly behavior of people also that you don't like, then you go saying, oh yeah, negative. You suck it in. You go saying, oh yeah, that's negative. And because you are in that negative vibration of your childhood, when stuff wasn't working well for you, you are reinforcing that behavior that you put out when you were a child. So actually, to free myself from being childish, I really have to not watch and read any mass media. It's not just because of not wanting to get ill by this stress level that kind of takes you further and further towards illness. It's also because your own stress that from childhood, you don't want to miss this feeling. So you go reading these bad things, because everyone has had a traumatic birth. So you can be sure if you show something traumatic again, then you link this feeling to your own traumatic birth. So that feeling from very early on in your life gets nurtured. But it is a wrong nurturing. One should free oneself from this trauma and then do stuff freely. Not because you want to get back a feeling into your life as an adult that you had as a child, and now as an adult, if you don't get it, you feel like a addicted person. Sorrow and angst and nervosity and all these feelings come up, and maybe also the fear of death. So people say when you are jealous, it's the fear of death. So that one is, again, Michael Beugelspacher. You can go and check him out. So yeah. I was doing all this and not planning to do a video right now. But because when I started, so much was happening. In German we call it Übersprungshandlung. So when people used to have a Sig or a E-puff, or when people were like biting their nails, that's all these things you do because some unpleasant situation is coming towards you. So to me it is like photographing. Always it has been, because I always had a photo camera with me from like early on when I was doing art. When I was 18, I had a photo camera. No one had one at that time. There weren't handies with good photo cameras. So you needed to have a photo camera and or a handy or, you know, whatever you wanted, a video camera. But now, because on my camera there is just the one chip they have for photo and video, and now with that one I make these videos because I'm a video artist. I'm an artist. I'm an artist. It's so funny. Bullets over Broadway, you know. Hey, this Woody Allen, he is from the peerage as well, just so you know. I don't like him at all. Like the youngsters he married, well, that's the elite agenda, to throw all the sexes in one ball again. If that expression exists in English. So people that are born, I'm not saying gender, because when I heard about gender from Susan Sontag in art school, where it was about the media theory, so it seemed not right to me to say that biologically you don't look at what people bring. You go and you say it's just socially, whatever you live through, you are. But the very thing is, even if everyone tells a girl you are a boy, and if you get into this boyish behavior, that's me. Still, I can give birth to children. I have this uterus and all of that. So biologically, they just don't really, you know, they sweep it under the rug and don't really look at that biological thing, because they want to stick to genders. Why? To kind of get this chaos where then they can put out their media, soaps and books. You know, books are owned by the elite as well, not just television. So whatever they tell you then in those media outlets, you tend to want to copy. You want to belong to people. This is really important. You might say to yourself, no, when something stupid happens, like this gender, you know, I'm falling asleep. You know, this topic, like you have 40 different genders to choose on Facebook. They go like saying, you know, well, that one just doesn't exist. That's fantasy. That's just fantasy. So if you hear something like that, you go saying probably, oh, I have to start again.